1896, Pastor Charles Sheldon published a book titled In His Steps. The book addressed pressing issues of that time, such as poverty, labor rights, alcohol abuse, journalism ethics, and the social responsibility of Christians and the church. It tells the fictional story of a town named Raymond that has an encounter with a homeless man. He comes to the one and only church that's in that town, and after the pastor preaches his sermon, he stands up and he requests to have a few moments to address the congregation. And he's given that privilege, and he goes on to share with them that he's an unemployed printer, he's homeless, and he's hungry. He's been turned away countless times when asking for help from others. Now remember, this is 1896, so this is before the local food banks and even social services were developed. In this story, the man asked the congregation, do Christians actually practice what they believe? That is, do they follow the ways of Jesus? Because if they did, would he be so hungry and would he feel helpless? At that point, he collapses, and the people in the congregation gather around him. They decide that they're going to take him to the pastor's house, which is right next to the church, and there they take turns caring for him. And during that time, he goes on to share more details of his struggles with them, making an impact that the question they all begin to ask themselves is, are they following in the steps of Christ or not? The homeless man's story makes such an impact on the pastor that the following Sunday, when he stands up there and preaches to the congregation, he challenges them with this: before you do anything next, before you commit to any action or say any words, you are to ask yourself this: what would Jesus do? This is where that saying comes from. It comes from this book from 1896. What would Jesus do? And so the rest of the book shares how each of those characters are going to face that question, that challenge, struggle, but also come out on the other side. For instance, a talented singer actually will choose to give up her career singing opera and touring in order to instead use her voice to give praise and glory to God. A newspaper editor will actually transform his paper so it's less about sensationalism and more about reporting the truth. A railroad superintendent will expose corruption at great expense for himself, but safety for others. And a wealthy woman will devote all of her fortunes to develop social services that will help the community. Now, not all the characters in the book are able to make that commitment and come out better on the other side, because some of them realize what sacrifice it recalls. But those who do experience deeper faith and a positive impact on their community.